How's everybody doing, man? We got a lot going on, man. Hit that like button, man. Sponsor the channel. Let's go.
Fox 5 was the only station in a Forsyth County courtroom today as the man accused of killing a Gwinnett County Sheriff's deputy who he dated faced a judge.
It comes as he now claims he was justified in killing her. Fox 5's Tyler Fingert is live at the Forsyth County Courthouse with the details. Tyler?
Yeah, Eric Sumner claims he acted in self-defense when he shot and killed his girlfriend, a Gwinnett County Sheriff's deputy. He says he feared for his life during a domestic dispute.
Eric Antonio Sumner, bring him out.
The man accused of killing Gwinnett County Master Deputy Tamara Tuitt Bartlett was in a Forsyth County courtroom Wednesday. The brief procedural hearing came as the focus of his defense shifts. In a court filing this month, Eric Sumner argues he was justified in killing his girlfriend and wants the judge to grant him immunity from prosecution.
You could use deadly force in Georgia under a variety of circumstances, most specifically when you're protecting yourself. If you have a reasonable belief that you're under threat of imminent harm, deadly force, you're absolutely allowed to protect yourself. And that's what Mr. Sumner is claiming in this motion.
Investigators say the shooting stems from a domestic dispute. In the motion, Sumner's attorneys claim their fight, along with previous disputes and his knowledge of Deputy Bartlett's proficiency with weapons, led Sumner to believe that force was necessary. They say multiple firearms were found in the home. Legal expert Joshua Schiffer says there are challenges for the defense, including that Sumner was not allowed to have a gun as a felon, and investigators said the deputy's teen son was also shot.
It's going to be very challenging for the defense to establish why the child was also shot. I don't believe that the child is an immediate threat. The defendant is relying on the law enforcement expertise of the decedent as part of their argument. That obviously doesn't include a 14-year-old child.
Court records show the couple had an on-again, off-again relationship, including a previous protective order that she later asked to be dismissed. For this immunity motion, Schiffer says the defense will have to prove Sumner was in danger.
It's going to be a very difficult defense purely because of the lack of evidence.
And Sumner faces a number of charges, including murder. His immunity motion has not been heard yet, but that's expected to happen sometime in June or July. We'll let you know what happens. Live at Forsyth County tonight, Tyler Fingert, Fox 5 News.
All right, Tyler, thanks. Let's turn. The men connected to a widespread carjacking and theft ring spanning 2021 and 2022 in those years, learning their fate, guilty on all counts. That's the verdict for all 5 suspects. The crimes taking the men from the city of Philadelphia to Delaware, Bucks, and Montgomery counties. Our Jill Croce was in federal court as the verdicts were announced.
The federal courtroom was filled today as people waited to hear the verdicts of the 5 men, so much so that an overflow room had to stream the news. We caught up with both sides after.
Mikhail McCracken, Amin Muse, Aline Abdul Hakim, Dean Fosk, and Kayvon Coleman have all been found guilty of participating in a coalition of terror and violence that resulted in over 60 carjackings, 28 of which we substantively charged.
The U.S. Attorney says the carjackings involve shootings and even murders.
People didn't just lose their vehicles, they lost their physical and mental well-being, and in some cases their lives. These men killed George Brasilla. They then killed Bichet.
Brasella was a Philadelphia area grandfather and military veteran who was shot just outside his mother's place.
We covered these.
The then 60-year-old was taken to the hospital but later died from his injury. Once a carjacking was complete, next steps would include shipping the cars off to places like Africa for profit, according to court documents.
I've never seen as many victims in a courtroom as I did today.
Witness testimony, defendant cell phone messages and pictures, GPS data, ballistic evidence, and others helped with the case, according to court documents. A defendant lawyer called this a tough case.
Telephone and cell phone stuff really hurt us in this case. But, it's, of course, we feel for the victims, but, sad for the defendants, too. They're all young guys.
This is just another fine example of...
Yeah, well, he's the defense attorney, whatever.
What happens in this city when you commit violent crime, ultimately you will be held accountable.
The defendants are facing effective life sentences based on the mandatory minimums for the carjackings and for the murder of George Brasilla and the murder of Bichet.
During the last few years, the Department of Justice and the FBI have started a carjacking task force, and they say this prosecution represents the culmination of their efforts. Outside the federal courthouse, Joe Croce, Fox 29 News.
Jeez. Give them niggas the goddamn, lock them niggas up forever. Lock them niggas up forever.
Also in the news here at 3 o'clock, a Fulton County deputy off the job and facing burglary charges. Investigators say that he used his own sheriff's vehicle to break into his ex-girlfriend's home and steal several items.
Oh, that's not really a burglary. That's just relationship bullshit. That's what I thought he was running around doing burglaries and shit. Shout out to everybody out there. Salute to all you people. Salute to Gouch, Roger Wood. Shout out to Montag, man. Anthony Madison down under. Laughing dog in the building. We gonna get back in we gonna get
the men connected to a
we gonna have to get Atlanta's popping, man.
New at 6, Coweta County authorities are encouraged that they're making headway in a cold case homicide. The gunman shot Omar Stegall to death on Jeter Circle in April 2023.
Fox 5 has been on top of new developments in this investigation for the last 3 years. Fox 5's Doug Evans has the latest tonight.
These two arrests are a big break in this cold homicide case, but investigators stress it doesn't solve it just yet. Two men under arrest in the murder investigation of Omar Stegall in 2023. Investigators say these two men allegedly found his body, but delayed calling 911. The 33-year-old Adrezi Robinson and 36-year-old Contavious.
This nigga look like my homeboy, man. He look just like my homeboy, man. God damn. That nigga look like a twin, man. He look like his twin. Except he got a cut on his face. But this one, wow, that's crazy.
Deputies say they found the body of Omar Stegall in his home on April 21st, 2023, but they delayed calling 911.
So it is unknown if the victim...
Hold on, what? They did some nigga shit?
Year-old Contavious Hall, deputies say they found the body of Omar Stegall in his home on April 21st, 2023, but they delayed calling 911.
So it is unknown if the victim was alive when they located his body. Evidence has shown that both of them waited a substantial amount of time prior to contacting 911.
Deputies say on April 21st, 2023, someone kicked in Omar Stegall's front door on Jeter Circle in Coweta County, shot him. Apparently, Robinson and Hall arrived later, apparently waited, and then called 911.
They cleaned up the drugs, man. It was drugs in there. And they probably dirty too. I know exactly what happened here. If somebody, this probably was, a house dude was probably hustling out of his house or whatever. Somebody robbed him, left, shot him. They come through later on, see the scene, search the house for drugs or whatever money they can get. Take that shit somewhere, stash it. It did call 911. Something along them lines, man.
Stegall, in an interview with me last year, told me he's always believed there are people in the community who know the identities of his son's killers.
He was a loving person around the community. And all I want y'all to do, man, is just, if you see it, tell it. If you know something, tell it. Because what my son did to your son, I would tell it.
Surveillance video from the neighborhood that night showed two men running away with duffel bags.
Yeah,
however, investigators...
I told you, man. I know niggas, man. I know niggas. I know me some niggas, man. I know me some niggas.
Say the video's too grainy and they haven't been able to identify these two men. If you have information that can help break this case open, now with the arrests of Robinson and Hall, call the Coweta County Sheriff's Office or Atlanta Crime Stoppers. There is a $10,000 reward for information in the case.
Tonight, the search continues for the person who shot and killed two teenagers in South Fulton Tuesday night. 16-year-old Jamari Smar and 14-year-old Jeremiah Carter were fatally shot in the Cooks Landing neighborhood. Good evening and thank you for joining.
And here's the thing: these little niggas probably was shooting at some other niggas, or they probably, was out there in the street, riff-raffing, running around, doing what they do. It's a terrible price to pay, but god damn. Jamari and Jeremiah.
Good evening and thank you for joining us at 6. I'm Russ Spencer.
And I'm Christine Spiro, and for Courtney Bryant. Fox 5's Tara Jabor joins us live from South Fulton tonight. And Tara, you spoke to the mother of one of the victims.
That's right. I spoke to the mother of Jamari Smar. She tells me that Jamari and Jeremiah were the best of friends and that they were inseparable. Now she's heartbroken and she wants justice for both of them. 16-year-old Jamari Smar was full of life, a sophomore in high school with dreams of playing basketball and being an entrepreneur.
That picture looking down, when they take that picture, that mean they in like some kind of shit. They with the shit, or they in some type of gang, or they with the street life. That picture looking down is a giveaway that they involved in, nefarious shit. He was a good boy.
Basketball and being an entrepreneur.
Jamari was goofy.
Jesus Christ, man. Goofy. Salute to mom, man. I know it's tough on mom right now, but goofy. All you niggas are comedians. God damn, man. All you niggas is jokesters and shit.
He always had us laughing.
His life taken on Tuesday night, along with the life of his best friend, 14-year-old Jeremiah Carter.
Mi casa, su casa is the kind of relationship they had.
South Fulton police say the 16-year-old and 14-year-old were shot and later died at the hospital. Jamaica says her son was in that neighborhood because he was selling a vape. She never thought this would happen to her boy.
He was selling a vape. Yeah, nigga kill you over a vape. Nigga try to rob you and kill you during the robbery of a vape. A vape pen. Yes, they will. Yo, I'm telling you, man, that shit is not shocking. Nigga went to try to sell a vape and got killed. Took his little 14-year-old buddy with him. Got killed. That shit ain't. Jeez. So sad, man.
And 14-year-old were shot and later died at the hospital. Jamaica says her son was in that neighborhood because he was selling a vape. She never thought this would happen to her boy.
Not in a million years would I have ever be expecting to lose my child. So
they say the teens were good young men who had big dreams and a lot more life to live.
But I look at both of them like little nephews, and they both gone, so it's senseless. They had everything they needed to succeed in life, everything. This wasn't two troubled kids.
South Fulton police say they have big leads on this case.
Listen to me loud and clear. We're going to find you. We're going to find out where you are. It's just a matter of time.
This family is praying for justice soon.
Pray that they keep working as hard as they can, and if anyone has any information to come forward with it, because I just want justice for my child and his best friend, Jeremiah.
And Dr. Alexander wants anyone who has information about this crime to report it to Crime Stoppers or the South Fulton Police. Reporting live in South Fulton, Tara Jabor, Fox 5 News.
Tara, thanks for the latest there.
Jeez. Shit. Young people getting whacked out in Blackistan all the time. The youth is.
Tonight, a man sits in jail charged with the murder of a St. Louis woman 5 months ago. The victim was caught in the crossfire back in October in the Carr Square neighborhood north of downtown. And new tonight, Robert Townsend learned new information from court documents.
This afternoon, when we went to this Carr Square neighborhood near 16th and Biddle, we saw children playing, people walking their dogs. Everything looked peaceful. However, on the night of October 18th of last year, police say it was anything but that. Investigators say a hail of gunfire rang out. According to court documents, Irvin Cage Jr. was dropped in the Carr Square neighborhood with the intent to join another female individual. The documents reveal she did not allow Cage in her residence, and Cage remained in the neighborhood for nearly an hour, openly carrying a firearm. Investigators say moments later, Cage stood in this field on Biddle Street and fired a gun more than 10 times and struck a car. Inside that car, 25-year-old Raquel Thompson. Court documents say Thompson was leaving her mother's house when she was shot as she drove past Cage. Investigators say Irvin Cage then inserted another magazine in his firearm and discharged it again over 10 times. Thompson, a young mother of a little boy, died 2 days later. Prosecutors say Thompson was not the woman Cage hoped to meet that night.
He was out. This little nigga, I know exactly what happened here. Oh, bitch, you ain't gonna let me in? Fuck you, bitch. And he started acting like he hard and shit. Like he hard. He tough, start peacocking with his gun. And then he started getting paranoid, even about something the girl said. She gonna call somebody or somebody gonna get her, or maybe just the reputation of the neighborhood. Seeing a car rolling by that probably looked like a type of car a nigga would have. And probably just fired that motherfucker up, thinking it was the local thugs coming or some niggas that the female called. And it was that young lady, unfortunately, that was leaving her mother's house who had nothing to do with it. Blacks, boy, I'm telling you. Being around blacks is dangerous, man. Being around blacks is dangerous, man. This nigga right here. Nobody will say he ain't kinfolk. You know how they say all skin folk ain't kinfolk? Niggas ain't gonna say this nigga ain't kinfolk. That nigga.
Moments later, Cage stood in this field on Biddle Street and fired a gun more than 10 times and struck a car. Inside that car, 25-year-old Raquel Thompson. Court documents say Thompson was leaving her mother's house when she was shot as she drove past Cage. Investigators say Irvin Cage then inserted another magazine in his firearm and discharged it again over 10 times. Thompson, a young mother of a little boy, died 2 days later. Prosecutors say Thompson was not the woman Cage hoped to meet that night. Investigators have not said anything about a motive for the shooting. It's been 5 months since Raquel Thompson crashed her car into this light pole and died. Neighbors are still traumatized by that terrifying night. They did not want to talk to us on camera. One woman did want you to know that Raquel Thompson was a nice, innocent, sweet woman who didn't deserve to lose her life. Prosecutors charged Cage with first-degree murder, unlawful use of a weapon, and 2 counts of armed criminal action. Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Cage is being held without bond. He's due in court next week.
Jesus. Fucking animal. Fucking animal.
Tonight, 2 months after a 41-year-old Houston man was shot and killed during an attempted carjacking, 2 suspects have been arrested.
Yes, Houston police say those suspects are just...
Salute, Snake. He said, I just got home from the hospital. I'm alive. You made it, man. Oh, man, you went to the other side. You made it back, man. Salute the Snake Plissy, man. He made it back, man. Unbelievable, man. He's alive. Back surgery, god damn.
14 years old, and they're now charged with capital murder. Matt Doherty has been following the story from the beginning. He's outside the Harris County Juvenile.
All these fucking nigger children, these little pickaninnies that are fucking. I mean, these little nigger children are fucking.
Detention center tonight and getting reaction from the victim's fiance. Matt?
I'm told it's unlikely the teens will be released before this goes to trial. Tonight, we're speaking with the victim's fiance, who went from planning a wedding to planning a funeral.
I received a text message today saying that they got him. And all I responded was like, thank you.
Crystal Carter had been waiting to hear this news for 2 months.
I know they were the folks that were on the picture.
She looked like Patti LaBelle, man.
That you guys thankfully shared a few weeks ago. But outside of that, nothing.
And there's nothing that we can share about the suspects either. That's because they're minors, both 14 years old, now having to face justice through the juvenile court system. We now have to blur their faces in the images provided by police. Crystal says these pictures are what led to the tips that helped identify them. Crystal's 41-year-old fiance, James Tolan, was killed on January 20th while at Riverside Park during what police say was a carjacking. They say the teens were after his truck, which now sits outside the garage of Crystal's home.
Damn. A work truck. Them little niggas wanted a work truck. Usually you get a work truck, it saves you from niggas, man. From having to encounter niggas. Niggas might think you hiring or something. So they stay the fuck away from you. This nigga had a work truck, still got jacks. Fuck. These little niggas, man. I swear to God, man. I hate y'all, man. Shout out to Gouch, man. Gouch says, congrats, Snake. Salute, Ock Nation. Yeah, congrats, Snake. I hate these little fucking niggers, man. Give them all. I mean, listen, I was young too, and I did dumb shit too. I get it. I get it. But then they came out with mass incarceration. And they stopped playing with niggas. The crime bill, man. We need a new crime bill, man. We need a new crime bill. We still haven't gotten that. We got a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. Trump tried. They protested. He tried to send the National Guard. He protested. But now we need a bill, a crime bill.
Oh,
Lord, I
I don't think they can do anything against a crime bill.
thought I was going to get through this. I was trying real hard, Matt.
Crystal and James had been together for 7 years and were inseparable. They'd traveled the world together and were planning to get married this year. Without him, Crystal is taking it one day at a time.
Jay used to paint. He was an amazing, amazing house painter. And I've started painting some in our house. And I wear his shoes, and I paint. And I'll send a text message of our time lapse. I'll text it to him, be like, baby, look at what I did.
Crystal's
Look
grief.
at black love. Look what these niggas did. They destroyed black love, man. These fucking niggers destroyed black love, man. Boy.
I paint, and I'll send a text message of our time lapse. I'll text it to him, be like, baby, look at what I did.
Crystal's grief is tempered today by the news of the 2 arrests. She says she's grateful the suspects, who police say took her future husband and love of her life, won't be able to do this to anyone else. Matt Doherty, KHOU 11 News.
Hopefully some justice and some peace for her.
Jeez. You niggas are the worst, man. I swear to God, man. The worst people on earth. Jeez. I mean, God damn, bro.
An update tonight on the shocking rape of a 12-year-old girl. 2 of the 3 young boys being charged as adults in the case were back in court as a judge weighs if they should stay locked up. Local 10 Syra Onward joins us live from the courthouse in Miami with the testimony that brought one of the suspects to tears. Syra?
So, Nicole, what these teens are in is an Arthur hearing, which would determine if they could be released on bond, even though they're charged with offenses that would typically keep a suspect behind bars.
Clearly, at that age, the understanding of actions and the consequences are not the same as an adult person.
The attorney for Nelson Nunez arguing his 13-year-old client should be released from jail on bond as he awaits trial. Nunez is charged for the disturbing June 2025 rape of a 12-year-old girl in Oak.
That nigga, man. He get teased about his ears, man. He gets teased about them ears.
Town. He's charged along with 2 other minors, 12-year-old Josiah Jones and now 15-year-old Xavier Tyson. Tyson is not in custody.
Who exactly told you them? It's Xavier Tyson and Josiah Jones.
Lead Detective Louis Joseph facing questions in the Arthur hearing related to the young victim's statement. Both boys are being tried as adults. According to police, 12-year-old Jones is accused of putting rocks in the young girl's mouth to silence her, while 13-year-old Nunez raped her in an Overtown community garden. Jones, emotional in the courtroom as a detective, recounts the victim's statement.
You continue in your report. JJ told Nelson Nunez and Xavier Tyson that they were going too far.
Correct.
And they is Nelson Nunez and Xavier Tyson, correct?
Correct.
Also testifying, a forensic psychologist speaking on the possible impact of housing a juvenile within an adult correctional facility.
In general, my concern would be that you have somebody who is not just a juvenile, but quite young, who would inherently need to be segregated from their general population that they serve.
So again, this is an Arthur hearing which could determine pre-trial release. This is not.
See, he was crying in that one. The other one I saw, this little nigga was smiling. Let me see if I can find that one. Little nigga was smiling, man. He must have gone, he was going through a range of emotions and shit. That nigga was going through a range. A range of emotions. Man, I don't give a fuck about none of you niggas, man. I better stay out of trouble.
And now to disturbing details coming to light in the violent rape of a 12-year-old girl.
3 teens being charged as adults in the case were back in court today as a judge weighs whether they should remain behind bars. Local 10's Leah Motorhon has the latest from the courthouse in Miami.
This was a case that shocked South Florida and made headlines around the country. Now prosecutors want to see the 3 young men charged in this heinous crime locked up until their trials. 3 boys accused in the violent rape of a 12-year-old girl appeared in court Wednesday for pretrial detention hearings. The adolescents are each charged as adults. The state believes 13-year-old Nelson Nunez, 12-year-old Josiah Jones, and 15-year-old Xavier Tyson should all await trial behind bars.
I want to see it all.
Judge Richard Hirsch says he wants to see the defendant's full school history before making any decisions. The alleged rape happened the night of June 18th at a community garden in Overtown. The victim allegedly left a friend's home when she encountered the boys. The victim told police Tyson and Jones held her down and Jones put rocks in her mouth to keep her quiet. All this as Nelson allegedly raped her, an attack that police say lasted for 30 minutes.
I never expected anything. His family's never expected anything from Josiah. I never had any type of behavior like this from my son.
The mother of 12-year-old Josiah Jones testified, despite a prior unspecified case in the juvenile justice system, that her son was not a troublemaker.
My client is the only one of the 4 boys who actually took pause, who had a conscience and says, we should stop. This is going too far. This is rape. We shouldn't be doing this.
Jones's lawyer said statements made by the victim herself suggest his client was remorseful.
See, the kid who claims he tried to stop it, or not tried to stop it, but he, spoke up, he will get a lighter sentence. He will. Especially if it goes to trial and they talk about all this stuff. And listen, they all ratted on each other. They all gave statements. They're young kids. We should start calling these the Miami 3. What is it? The Central Park 5. These are the Miami 3. The Miami 3. These little motherfuckers. Listen. This is bravado. These little motherfuckers know they're in trouble. They've been locked up for a couple weeks now. This is all bullshit. That little nigga knows he's terrified. That little nigga's starting to realize because they won't let you go home. Wait a second. I can't go home? Nah, you ain't going home. Nah, you ain't going home. That's tough for a little kid, a young man, because they're so used to, the mom picking them up at the police station. These kids know what they're into. They know what kind of shit they just stepped in. I don't believe for 1 second this kid is laughing and shit. I think that's all like fake tough guy shit. Shout out to my man, Snake Pleasant, man, sending buy me a coffee, man. Salute to you, man. Salute to Snake Pleasant. I don't even think these kids are psychos, though. They're normal kids. I think a psycho would be a deviation, right, from a normal kid. I think these is normal black kids. Regular, schmedegular black kids. I don't think these kids are anything out of the norm. I don't think they're anything out of the norm.
And participated out of fear.
I understand that the victim feels that maybe he was pressured and maybe he was coerced, but he is still the man that admitted that this is rape and still continued in his actions and actually is the one that put the rocks in her mouth in order to stop her from screaming.
My client shouldn't be held.
Okay, I hear you, sir. I don't agree with you.
Xavier Tyson is the only defendant out of the three who is currently out of custody. His pretrial detention hearing has been reset for March 24th. As for the other two boys, their hearing will continue on Thursday. Reporting in Miami, Leanne Morejon, Local 10 News.
Wow. These little boys, man. Unbelievable. No one's denying the rocks in the mouth thing. That's troubling for me. Because I want to think that this wasn't rape. This was just little boys, and little girls hooking up, and shit went too far. But the rocks in the mouth thing, that they gave their statements and they said that. And when the little boys told on themselves to the police, they said that. They spoke on that. Unbelievable, man. Exposing Black history, man.
Black history, because that did not happen. Every July 18th, it's International Nelson Mandela Day, the global hero who ended apartheid with forgiveness and rainbows, creating, of course, the Rainbow Nation. We all had to watch movies like Invictus, which paints him as South Africa's Gandhi, South Africa's MLK, just hugging racist white people into unity. He delivered speeches to Congress. Barack Obama cited him as a personal inspiration. He even delivered a eulogy at his memorial in 2013. Mandela got the Nobel Peace Prize. There's statues of him everywhere. Pretty inspirational, right? No, he was actually a violent communist terrorist who hated white people and destroyed a country that used to have a space program. First, we must address the idea that this guy was at all peaceful. As early as 1955, Mandela already believed that violent revolution was the only way to get rid of white rule in South Africa. This led him to create the ANC's military wing, the Spear of the Nation, in 1961. He would later travel to Ethiopia, where he learned the finer points of terrorism and guerrilla warfare. So he's arrested in 1962. He's charged in the famous Rivonia trial. During the trial, the South African government presented an ANC document that was literally like a plan for a race war. Mandela was convicted of charges like sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government. And so in 1964, he received life in prison. That didn't stop him from wreaking havoc on South Africa. Mandela actually continued orchestrating terrorism from prison. So together, the ANC and the Spear of the Nation were responsible for killing dozens of innocent people, many by necklacing, which entailed taking a tire, filling it with gasoline, putting it around someone's neck, lighting it on fire. But surely Mandela would never support something that barbaric, right? Like the American government's praising him, Barack Obama's inspired by him. Yeah, it turns out he's not exactly the biggest opponent of necklacing. In fact, his wife even gave a speech in which she said explicitly, "With our boxes of matches and our necklaces, we will liberate this country." Mandela's organization was also responsible for a bombing campaign that lasted for years, including the famous Church Street bombing, in which 19 people were killed and like 200 plus were injured. You know what's like crazy? In 1985, the South African government offered to release this guy from prison if he just gave up on the whole terrorism thing, and he refused. He said no. That is just how committed he was to bombing and killing innocent people. But then he wins the Nobel Peace Prize 8 years later. It's like insane. So yeah, not a peaceful guy. He was a violent terrorist who hated white people, and the global left, including tons of American liberals, worships him to this day. And just so we're clear, Nelson Mandela was a communist. I know that's not shocking based on what we're talking about, but he denied it during his lifetime. Bombing people and lying? This is your guy? In 2012, a British historian by the name of Professor Stephen Ellis discovered evidence that a young Nelson Mandela had a leadership role in the South African Communist Party, not to mention that the ANC's war against white South Africa was funded and facilitated by the Soviet Union. Even the United States listed the ANC as a terrorist organization until 2008. So Mandela died in 2013, and today South Africa is objectively worse off under black rule than it was under apartheid. Don't care how controversial that is the case, and that is thanks in large part to Nelson Mandela, because as it turns out, race communism is not exactly a recipe for national success. Who knew? America would do well to keep that in mind. Truth matters. I love black people.
Wow.
Day 23 of exposing black history, because it literally didn't even.
Wow.
Day 23 of exposing.
I enjoy these because we know a lot of this black history is bullshit. The real black history, niggas got real history and they ignore it for these fairy tales.
Day 20 of exposing Black history because it didn't even happen. So like in literally any conversation about crime, poverty, drugs within the Black community in America, you're definitely going to hear that it was actually the CIA which deliberately flooded Black America with these drugs.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Niggas, I don't know. Niggas brought them drugs into the community. Niggas brought them guns into the community. This is all bullshit. The CIA. Drugs. The CIA got to bring drugs into the community. Niggas not going to do drugs unless the CIA bring them in there. And we already debunked crack. All these niggas was strung out on heroin in the fucking 40s and 50s. Cocaine and all that shit before crack ever started. Crack didn't do a fucking thing to the community except up the violence. Up the violence. Up, but that was still that was just shootings and guns and things of that nature. But it didn't like the community wasn't in no fucking good shape. Take the challenge, man. Support the channel, guys. Support the channel. We should have a bunch of people supporting the channel on a Friday, man. Nobody supporting the channel? Yeah, these niggas man. That excuse, I hear people use that excuse too. The CIA brought guns. We don't got no boats. We ain't got no planes. How the guns get here? And they really be meaning that shit.
Because obviously systemic racism. It's in rap lyrics, celebrities talk about it all the time, Black activists talk about it all the time. It's just like some collective piece of knowledge, like, oh yeah, you know, the sky's blue. Turns out it's a lie. Okay, so this all goes back to 1996 with this journalist Gary Webb's Dark Alliance series in the San Jose Mercury News. So essentially he said that CIA-backed Nicaraguan Contras were selling cocaine in Los Angeles to fund rebel groups fighting Sandinistas, with the profits from that creating the crack epidemic in Black America. Freeway Rick Ross, the big dealer, supposedly linked the whole thing together. Now, the series was already overstating connections and ignoring contradictions, and it was actually ended by his editors for sloppy fact-checking. Like, the editors admitted it was just hype. So Webb...
Damn.
resigns and his career suffers, but then he would go on to publish a book alleging that the CIA specifically targeted Black neighborhoods in Los Angeles as like the end point of this whole plot line of his. But the media was already all over this. It was all over the news. All the headlines were screaming about a crack plot to target Black America. Everybody was freaking out. So there were several investigations done by the local police, state officials, even Congress itself. And the Justice Department report indicated that there were 2 major drug dealers in Los Angeles who had close ties to the CIA and were probably supplied by the CIA, but they were not the ones to introduce crack cocaine, nor were they even the biggest dealers in the neighborhood. Then the House Select Committee report said no, actually, while the 2 drug dealers in question did have tenuous contact with CIA-affiliated individuals, most notably like one smuggler that the CIA bailed out like one time, they mostly had non-CIA suppliers, and it was unclear how much of their drugs had even come from the CIA-related sources in the first place. So Freeway Ricky Ross did buy cocaine from Danilo Blondin, a trafficker with Contra ties, and Blondin also had contact with individuals who interacted with CIA-connected networks, but investigations found no evidence that the CIA directed these sales, targeted specific neighborhoods, or orchestrated the crack epidemic. And Blondin sold a lot of drugs to a lot of people, and Ross was not a CIA asset. He was already operating in an expanding and highly competitive drug market in Los Angeles, along with a bunch of other people. Some cocaine traffickers linked to the Contras did move some drugs into the US, which at the time was the largest and most profitable drug market in the world. But again, what's the scale? The amount of cocaine that can be connected to these networks is nothing compared to the massive overflow flow of drugs already entering into the US at the time. So yeah, even if you take all of the drugs that actually can be linked, however loosely, to the CIA, the idea that this is responsible for the LA crack scene, forget about the entire crack epidemic in America, even just LA, I don't know about that. It was shown to not even be dominant in LA. That's where the story is supposed to be taking place. What a game of telephone. I mean, that's a much different story than the CIA targeting and flooding black communities all throughout the country with crack to keep them broke and poor and in jail and unhealthy. Like, apparently they were just doing that actually to their own communities, but I can see why we might want to avoid having that conversation. Just blame the government instead. Truth matters. Probably do not smoke crack. Day 20.
Shout out to D from Boston, man. D from Boston is in the building, man. Let's go back. Hold on. I think there's some more stuff on here on this. It's interesting, man.
They are using this video to say, well, Tom Homan is announcing a full withdrawal of ICE from Minneapolis. This is just called lying on the internet. They're calling this a total surrender to the radical left.
Hold on. Let me see. I want to see this one.
Day 17 exposing black history, because it did not happen. We all know about the Black Panthers, right? One of the most well-known black power groups of the civil rights era. Just a bunch of cool guys defending black people against racist cops, giving out food, band-aids. What's not to like? This is not the case. Their whole thing was actually just like being degenerate criminals and intimidating and killing innocent white people. Founded by Oakland College students Huey Newton and Bobby Seale in 1966, they thought the civil rights movement was moving too slow, and so they wanted to do something more radical, and they hated police, and so they had Black Panthers going around doing armed patrols throughout Oakland, where they would try to find cops arresting black people and then try to intimidate them into letting the suspects go, regardless of whether they were innocent. Usually they were not. Predictably, this led to armed standoffs between the Panthers and the police. Keep in mind that no other black power group had ever done anything like this before. You know, Reagan is sometimes attacked by conservatives for cracking down on open carry laws when he was governor of California, but he actually did this specifically to target the Black Panthers because they were just going around deliberately trying to intimidate normal, innocent white people with guns. When Huey Newton gets pulled over in 1967, he of course ends up in a shootout with the police. Later says, well, I don't remember anything that happened, only ends up doing 2 years in prison. But a bus driver who witnessed the incident said that he saw Newton pull out a gun and fire on the two officers. That bus driver was also black. Eldridge Cleaver was another notorious member of the Black Panther Party. He was also a rapist who, when he was in prison, wrote all about how rape is actually an insurrectionary act, and it's awesome because it tramples on the white man's system of laws, especially when he's targeting a white woman, though he actually started specifically targeting black women. Me, when I'm black and I rape black women to get back at white people. Hey! He's just fighting back against racist white people. And apparently that's the only thing that matters, which perhaps is why he was eulogized by the New York Times in 1998 and described as a symbol of black rebellion in the civil rights era. So after Newton and Seale go to prison, Cleaver becomes way more influential, and under his leadership, calls for violence from the organization reach unprecedented levels. The Panthers' chief of staff, David Hilliard, gets arrested for publicly calling for Richard Nixon's death. The Panthers newspapers publishing literal bomb-making guides and providing tips on how to ambush cops, which they then also did. I tell you what, if that's not terrorism, I don't know. Then after MLK is assassinated, Black Panther Stokely Carmichael announces that a race war had begun and that black people had to fight back. So riots ensued in over 100 cities throughout the country. A few days later, Eldridge Cleaver and a couple Panthers go around literally just looking for cops to kill. So cop pulls up behind him. Of course, they get out, start shooting, eventually take off on foot. Cleaver and Bobby Hutton post up in a nearby basement where they exchange fire with the cops for an hour and a half. Hutton gets killed. Cleaver is granted bail. Unsurprisingly, he just takes off and lives in exile in another country for 7 years.
Damn. I thought the racist justice system, the justice, we got to celebrate OJ getting off for killing Michelle because it was the one time a black person got off. One time a black person beat the system. I tell you, these niggas be lying like shit. Press one. These niggas be lying.
Years before returning to America and receiving probation. This is their legacy. Straight up violence and terrorism is like their whole bit. Virtually all of America's most infamous left-wing terror groups, the Weather Underground, the Black Liberation Army, you name it, they were greatly influenced by the Black Panthers. There are even copycat Black Panther groups today. They were undeniably a terror organization which saw white people as the enemy. And that such an organization proved to be so immensely influential on the left tells you everything you need to know about the left. I am a fan of the truth and the black people. Day 17 exposing black history, because it did not happen. We all know about the Black Panthers, right? One of
the unbelievable.
Day 15 of exposing Black history because it just didn't even happen. You probably know about Malcolm X, right? Cool guy, civil rights figure, became very popular for saying America itself is systemically racist and this has to be resisted by any means necessary. Movies like that movie, Malcolm X, paint him as some kind of martyr against white racism. He's still idolized throughout culture, throughout academia, and he's somewhat of a folk hero to leftists and Black nationalists who believe that he was killed by the system because he posed too much of a threat. Nope, it's a lie. Yeah, he was just like a lifelong violent radical pushing Black nationalism through white bloodshed. Born in Omaha, Nebraska, Malcolm X moved to Harlem as a teenager where he began doing crime stuff, prostitution, drug dealing, robbery, every crime conceivable this guy was involved in it. So after winding up in prison, this guy discovers the Nation of Islam, this obscure religion that teaches that an evil wizard named Yaqub created white people thousands of years ago, which actually led to the destruction of a highly advanced Black civilization. Probably didn't exist. And the Nation of Islam teaches that white people are literal devils who are destined for extermination by God. This being his belief, Malcolm X, of course, advocated for violence against white people to achieve Black nationalism. As Malcolm Little, he preached by any means necessary, meaning guns and revolution, to carve out a Black ethno-state. Of course, this was very inspiring to groups like the Black Panthers, who would go on to start ambushing and killing innocent white police officers. He celebrated the assassination of JFK. He said it was white America's chickens coming home to roost, and for most of his life, he was deep in the Nation of Islam. And Malcolm echoed the hate of his group. He called white people blue-eyed devils who deserve destruction. And under Elijah Muhammad, who was the leader of this group during Malcolm's time, the group was like totally a cult. Like, Muhammad was a serial rapist. He impregnated multiple teen secretaries, and he was justifying it through his reading of the Bible or whatever. And Malcolm knew about all of this, but stayed loyal until a bitter split in 1964 when he could no longer deny Muhammad's corruption. In his famous 1964, the ballot or the bullet speech, he urged Black people to take up arms against white people. He said, "We're going to be forced to either use the ballot or the bullet." No peace talk there. 9 days before he was shot, he compared minorities' plight in the UK, of all places, to Jews under the Nazis, calling for armed uprising against the British. He never renounced anti-white aggression. They say, oh, he became a moderate after his trip to Mecca. This just means he stopped talking about using violence against every white person and just violence against white supremacy as a system. Do the math. So during all of this, Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the group, was growing increasingly jealous of Malcolm, which also led to Malcolm leaving to start his own Black Power group. Things escalated further, and finally, on February 21st, 1965, a few members of the Nation of Islam confronted Malcolm at a meeting and shot him to death. 3 Nation of Islam members are convicted, and they were motivated by the organization's envy of Malcolm X's fame and fury over his exposés over Muhammad's rapes and fraud. So Malcolm had more or less become a threat to the cult that he helped build in the first place. The system didn't get him for opposing racism or whatever, but that still didn't stop his family from suing the FBI, CIA, and NYPD in 2024. Talk about a cash grab. Guy who's a violent separatist tries to separate from his violent separatist group and they become violent. What? Truth matters. And I love the Black people. Day 15 of exposing Black history because it just didn't even happen. You probably know about Malcolm.
Wow. Let's get back to lot going on, man.
Judge sentences this teenager to spend 35 to 75 years in prison for his role in the death of an Uber.
35 to 75 years in prison. These little niggas are like rushing to the penitentiary. And listen, it takes a lot to get inside of the penitentiary. They don't just put you in the penitentiary. You got to work for it. These little niggas are working overtime to get into the penitentiary.
Driver in summer of 2024.
Joseph Keys reached a plea deal with prosecutors back in August. He was one of 6 teenagers accused in this case.
KETV Newswatch 7's Anna Banning has more from the Douglas County Courthouse.
Our father's death has left a permanent hole in our hearts and in our community. We live each day with grief, anger, trying to make a sense through loss that should not have happened.
That's Hamdi Jama, the daughter of Marcel Jama, who was shot and killed in August 2024. 15-year-old Joseph Keys was sentenced nearly 2 years later in connection to Marcel's death.
The whole thing is so senseless and kind of beyond belief.
Douglas County Attorney Don Klein says this case is 2 losses of lives. Keys now spends 35 to 75 years in prison for
It's not really a loss of life. This nigga, anything this nigga saying that sound human or decent is only because he got caught. If this nigga didn't get caught, if they released this nigga today, he would be in a fucking video with a bunch of other niggas talking shit about some other little niggas tomorrow. Press 1. He would be smoking on some ops and hanging in the trenches and all that bullshit tomorrow. If you let him go today, tomorrow. These motherfuckers are not like, oh, just the society failed them and they just missed the cut. No, these niggas was fucking 50 laps behind on purpose. These niggas want to be street niggas. They don't want to get 35 years in jail, but I bet he wouldn't have mind getting 35 months and coming home, to brag about he did a bid. She just gave him 35 to 75. Yikes. She slammed that boy. What happened to that boy? He was talking, so we put a clap into that boy. What happened to that boy? He was robbing and killing. So we put a sentence to that boy. Jeez. So many young people involved in stupid shit. And listen, I'm not sitting here acting like, oh, I'm different. Shit. You gotta lock niggas up though. You have to lock them up. That's the only way to keep the streets safe. You can't keep the streets safe with niggas out there like this. The only way is to lock them up. That's it.
Years in prison for 2 felony robberies and 2 gun charges.
He's still going to have to do almost 23 years before he's even eligible for parole, and that doesn't mean he's going to get parole.
Roscoe Wallace, CEO of Viable Healing, mentors Keys. Wallace says he plans to still encourage the teen.
We really, as a society, have to make a decision. Do our kids really have value? Should our kids just be held accountable and not parents?
Klein says the county is seeing more and more young people involved in violent crimes, adding his office is working hard to find answers as to why.
We have to make sure young people have hope, that they have an opportunity for an education, they have an opportunity for jobs, and that they have parameters in their life that are set by adults who care about them. Because I think most young people almost want that.
Anna Baining, KETV Newswatch 7.
The 3 other people who were charged as adults in this case received 50 to 70 years behind bars. Investigators say the alleged shooter, who was 13 at the time, will go through juvenile court. The 11-year-old in this case was not charged because of his age.
Wow. Let me drop the link, man. Shout out to Boy Kachina, man. Boy Kachina in the building. Rock that nation, national shock. Yeah, man. We keeping it rolling, man. I swear, man. Just seeing all these young motherfuckers go to jail. It's everywhere. It's no place where you're not going to see this. There's no place where you're not gonna see this shit.
A Boston police officer in court right now on a manslaughter charge. Let's listen in.
Arraignment on manslaughter charge. There will be a request for bail. I don't know if Your Honor intends to do the formal arraignment first or hear from the Commonwealth first.
Let's do the formal arraignment first.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nicholas O'Malley, on docket 2602 CR 640, you're being arraigned on this matter. It's alleged that on March 11, 2026, you did cause the death of Stephenson King by assaulting and beating Stephenson King when they knew or reasonably should have known that the battery endangered human life, intentionally inflicting an injury or injuries likely to cause death, or wanton or reckless conduct that has a high degree of likelihood that substantial harm will result to another. Counsel, are you entering a plea of not guilty?
Yes.
Plea of not guilty entered. Defendant has been arraigned, Your Honor.
All right. Are there any requests by the government?
Yes, Your Honor. For reasons I'll also explain a little more at the end, the Commonwealth's request is for a $25,000 bail. Last Wednesday night, March 11th, there was a report of an unarmed carjacking on Tremont Street. A woman was in the passenger seat of her own car when a man got in the driver's seat, punched her and forced her out of the car and drove away in the car. A description of the car went out on the police radio with the plate number, and less than 15 minutes later, two officers, including Officer O'Malley, who's before you, found that car in an angled parking spot on Linwood Square in the Fort Hill area. Was parked nose in to the curb. The motor was running, and a man named Stephenson King, 39 years old, was reclined in the driver's seat. Officer O'Malley stopped the cruiser behind the car to block it in, and both he and the other officer approached the car with their guns drawn. The defendant ordered King repeatedly to show his hands, to unlock the car doors, and to shut the engine off. And the second officer also repeatedly told Mr. King to unlock the doors. Mr. King did show his hands, which were empty, but he otherwise didn't comply. Sat in the car, tried to say some things apparently, opened the window just a crack.
Wow. Let me see if we got a shorter video of this white guy getting railroaded, man. That sucks, man. Cop getting railroaded, man. Let's see what's going on live, man. What's happening right now, man?
All right, VJ, thank you. Well, it was a shooting spree targeting drivers at random. 3 cars hit, 1 person hurt. Now police say the gunman is in custody.
Our Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell first reported the suspect's identity this afternoon. Brad joins us now live from the Maryland State Police Barracks in College Park, where a press conference just wrapped up. Brad, did you learn anything about a potential motive here?
No, right? And that is the big...
There's no motive. He was shooting people at random. That's stuff white people do. Nah, that's stuff niggas do.
question that we all have. Why would somebody do something like this? Police say they just don't know yet. This is the most terrifying kind of crime because it can hit you anywhere, right? You're just driving down the road. You're not involved with something you shouldn't be involved with. You're not getting money out of the bank. You're just going somewhere. And all of a sudden, your car is hit by gunfire. And that's why police are so relieved that they were able to get this guy in custody quickly. The shooting began Monday night at 10:35 on Route 5 at Allentown Road. A victim called police to say his car had been hit by gunfire. Minutes later, on the ramp from Route 5 to the Beltway, these ghostly images showing the shooter out of his stopped car firing at a car occupied by a mother, father, and small child. Then 3 hours later, a man driving the Beltway was shot in the leg. Police scrambled to find the shooter. And by mid-afternoon Tuesday, they had identified a suspect. And a lookout was posted for this man, 44-year-old Kendrick Lamont Savoy. And then 25-year-old Prince George's police officer Kareen Kelsick is being hailed as a hero because he spotted Savoy at about 2 p.m., pulled him over, and managed to get him in handcuffs.
Wow.
Without additional violence. State Police Superintendent Mike Jackson says detectives still don't know Savoy's motive, but he has a long and violent criminal history, and Jackson says he's relieved to have him locked up.
The safety of the public is our highest priority.
Bullshit.
When that safety is threatened,
oh no, this isn't the man. This is the...
we act quickly and decisively.
You sound like the man.
Let this arrest send a clear message. Those who endanger our community will be identified, pursued, and held accountable.
Yeah, so I've been going through Savoy's criminal history pretty much case by case, going back decades, and he's got multiple arrests, multiple convictions for crimes involving guns and violence. He was spent time in prison. He was arrested as recently as just this past December, and it appears that judges could have held him on suspended time that he was given for those past offenses. We're still seeking answers about that. We're going to be back at 5 with more. I had an opportunity to talk to that young police officer there I mentioned. So he had the courage to go up to this guy that had been opening fire, allegedly, around the community, do a traffic stop, and get him into custody. I asked that officer how it went down, and he described the arrest for us. So I'll have that, as I say, when we come back at 5. In College Park, Brad Bell, 7 News.
We will definitely stay tuned for that, Brad. Thank you so much. Well, it is important to note that Kendrick Lamont Savoy has been arrested on dozens of charges dating back more than 25 years. And 7 News did some digging. It appears he's been in and out of jail during that time. He was sentenced to 25 years, suspended all but 15 for an armed carjacking in 2015, and it's currently not clear when he got out of jail. For more details on the highway shootings, you can head over to WJLA.com.
Jeez. Jesus Christ, man.
Now, Chesapeake police are looking into a home invasion and shooting that happened over the weekend, and we're learning more about the case from the man who lives in the house where it happened. 10 of your side's Ashley Knight has new information in this case tonight. Ashley?
Well, the man didn't want to go on camera, but he tells me he's making sure that no more trouble comes to his house. Around 10:45 Sunday morning, Chesapeake police responded to this home on Grandie Court for a home invasion and a shooting. One male victim was found with several gunshot wounds and rushed into emergency surgery. He's in critical condition. Police arrested 18-year-old Jalen Amari Morrow. Morrow is facing felony.
Look at this nigga, man. I mean, yo, these niggas is barely human. I mean, barely. This motherfucker's decided to live the rest of his life in a cell. He lives in a time, do you understand? It wasn't not too long ago when you used to have to fetch water from a well and boil it before you drank it. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to talk to somebody long distance, you had to send them a letter. And they would have to read the letter, write back, put it in the mail, or give it to the postman, and then wait for it to get back to you. Then you would have to get it, read it, respond, and put it in the mail. It takes, we do that in a simple email thread. We do all that in the email thread. What would have took like a month? What would have took a month? We can do that in the email thread in 30 seconds. And these little motherfuckers born in this time, this great time in human history, are choosing to live in a fucking cell with a bunch of other degenerate fucking criminals.
felony charges of burglary, assault, and carrying a firearm in the commission of a felony. Court documents say police obtained surveillance video showing a light blue or silver Nissan Rogue parking several houses down from the home where the shooting happened. It shows two males exiting the vehicle and walking toward the house on Grandy Court. Several minutes later, those same people are seen running back to the car and driving off. Other surveillance video shows the same car and same people at this convenience store. We're not sure if this is before or after the shooting. Their cameras were able to get the license plate number. Police were able to track Morrow, who was found in the same car later that day and wearing the same clothes as one of the suspects seen in the video. The homeowner didn't want to go on camera, but told us he was in the backyard when he heard the shots. Running inside, he didn't see the suspects, but saw the victim on the ground and called 911. He told me the victim was a friend of his nephew's, who also lives in the house with his father. He says the victim has been hanging out with his nephew at the house for a few months. He told me he didn't know the victim's name other than his street name, 30. Now, I asked him if this prompted a...
You know what 30 is? 30 is a 30 caliber. So he's named after a gun, a 30 caliber gun. Let me guess. He was a good boy who's turned his life around. He made everybody laugh.
Conversation with his nephew about having friends over. He said that conversation has been a long time coming. Meanwhile, police are still looking for the other suspects seen in the video. If you know anything, call Chesapeake Police. Ashley Knight, 10 on your side.
I'm telling you, man. You can find these little in every city doing the same shit. In every city. In fact, give me a city. Give me a city, man. Give me a city. Take the $5 challenge. Support the channel, guys. Let's see if we get some more people to take the $5 challenge. Sponsor your favorite programming on the internet. On the interwebs, man. Sponsor your favorite performance on the interwebs. My man said Dearborn. 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 They might give us a closer city, man. One of the surrounding cities. I don't know if Dearborn is old enough to have their own news channel. We'll see. Nah, they were Detroit. They under Detroit. We can go to Detroit. We can do Detroit.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Neighborhood streets full of FBI and police vehicles, all sorts of stuff.
That's a long time ago. Let's see something more recent, man. Jeez. R.I.P. Chuck Norris, man. R.I.P. Chuck Norris.
He pledged to serve and protect, but the Wayne County prosecutor says he was a serial rapist who was living a double life.
The alleged facts in this case are disturbing, unsettling,
and infuriating.
A former Detroit police sergeant charged in the sex assault of 5 different women.
Benjamin Wagner was arrested Tuesday in Greenville, North Carolina. He's due here in court next week after waiving extradition. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. He's charged in 5 separate attacks on women ranging in age from 15 to 23 years old. And the fear is that there could be more victims out there. So let's get out to our Noelle Friel. She is live tonight. Noelle, what have you learned?
Yeah, Ty, Kimberly, like you mentioned, some of these victims were just teenagers when these assaults occurred. They all happened near Wagner's home on Detroit's northwest side when the victims were all out walking alone. These assaults happened between 1999 and 2003, all within about 5.5 miles of Wagner's house. Prosecutors say he used a handgun in the attacks, pointing it at victims, ordering them away from others, and then sexually assaulting them. Wagner has been charged in each.
Damn. Yo, what the fuck? Police sergeant, ex-DBT police, DPD police sergeant. Yo, what the fuck?
Prosecutors say he used a handgun in the attacks, pointing it at victims, ordering them away from others, and then sexually assaulting them. Wagner has been charged in each case with kidnapping and first-degree criminal sexual conduct, charges that can carry life sentences. From 1989 to 2017, Wagner worked as an officer for DPD. During that time, he was promoted to sergeant and worked on several different units. These cases were part of a backlog of more than 11,000 sexual assault kits discovered in 2009. And were finally submitted for DNA testing in 2010. In 2023, a lead came into the FBI Detroit field office, and through advanced forensic testing, Wagner was finally linked to all 5 cases this month.
Wow.
In these cases, we are alleging that Wagner sexually assaulted his young victims, and the commonalities were they were walking to school or home from work or simply going to a friend's house. These happened in the early morning hours mostly, all on Detroit's northwest side. He utilized isolation and force. He was armed with a handgun in each and every case.
The evidence found in this case is concerning a former Detroit police sergeant, Benjamin Wagner. It's egregious. It's disturbing. Defendant Wagner's actions do not represent the integrity and the values and the mission of the officers of the Detroit Police Department.
And again, police believe there may be even more victims of Wagner's out there. Anyone who believes they may have been a victim is encouraged to contact the Detroit Police Department's Sex Crimes Unit and ask to speak with Sergeant Jennifer Carlson. We're live tonight. Noelle Friel, Local 4.
Jeez. I mean, it leaves you speechless, man. What can you say, man? Fucking police sergeant running around, I guess while he was off, raping every woman he could in the neighborhood. I think that's what they're saying.
Well, a couple of school employees in Macomb County and some.
He pledged to serve and protect.
County Prosecutor Kim Worthy announced multiple criminal charges today against a former Detroit police sergeant. CBS News Detroit's El Myers has more on the accusations and the prison time he could be facing.
The deplorable fact in this case is that the person that we are charging today has led a double life as a law enforcement officer and a serial rapist.
Former Detroit Police Sergeant Benjamin Wagner spent decades on the force. He's facing charges for the rape and kidnapping of 5 women over 4 years, from 1999 to 2003.
The alleged facts in this case are disturbing, unsettling, and infuriating.
If convicted, Wagner could serve the rest of his life in prison, according to the prosecutor's office.
He was doing this shit for 40 years, and we know them ain't the only 5 women. It's probably 500.
Worthy says Wagner targeted young women in the early morning hours while they were on their way to school or work, and in each case, he was armed with a handgun.
He utilized isolation and force. He was armed with a handgun in each and every case. He threatened their lives if they reported, and he did not use a condom in any of these assaults.
After retiring from the Detroit police force in 2017, Wagner moved to Greenville, South Carolina, which was where he was arrested earlier this week. He's facing a total of 14 charges, including criminal sexual conduct in the first and third degrees and kidnapping, according to the prosecutor's office.
The allegations absolutely shock the conscience, but I hope that this brings definitely solace and relief to our victims. We never stop investigating these cases. Defendant Wagner's actions do not represent the integrity and the values and the mission of the officers of the Detroit Police Department.
For CBS News Detroit, I'm Elle Myers reporting.
Wow. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable, man. All right, so we found, remember the other day, the guy punched the crossing guard? We found him, man.
A break in the case. Police say they've caught the man wanted for this heinous attack.
Look at this nigga, man. Shout out to Roger Wood. He says Chuck Norris left home at the age of 10. While leaving, he turned back to his father and said, "You're the man of the house." That's funny, man. That is hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. This nigga look like every nigga in the fucking world, man. This could be any of us, man. This nigga, me and this nigga share DNA, man. That's crazy, man. No impulse control. No understanding. No sympathy, no empathy, no understanding of consequences, time, nothing. Just straight reaction.
A break in the case. Police say they've caught the man wanted for this heinous attack on a crossing guard. Now we're hearing how they tracked him down hundreds of miles from home. Well, after several days on the run, the U.S. Marshals say they got their man. Good evening, everyone. I'm UQ Washington. Right now, the suspect, Rasheem Russell, is locked up at a county jail.
This is a grown-ass man. This is a grown man. Behaving like this, like no standard, no red lines, no cut cards, just whatever. Salute to Barry B. Barry B is in the building. No cut cards, nothing. Just straight animal instinct. Yeah, he looked like me, man. I said that. Yeah, he looked like he could be my cousin or something, man. Straight up, just the sub-Saharan DNA, man. Straight sub-Saharan DNA, man.
Darlington, South Carolina. Delaware County reporter Madeline Wright
This
was
nigga punched that security guard like a rat. Just scurried down to South Carolina. This nigga went down to South Carolina, scurried down there like a little rat to try to escape consequences and shit.
for the arrest announcement, and she was able to get community reaction as well.
It's still shocking to many people here in Delaware County that a school crossing guard was attacked on the job. Today, police here in Darby Borough say they've got the person responsible. 27-year-old Rasheem Russell from West Philadelphia was taken into custody Friday morning. Police say he's the driver who got out of his car, punched a crossing guard in the face, and then took off after school dismissal in Darby on Monday.
This was a cowardly act of violence that needed to be dealt with immediately.
According to an affidavit, Philadelphia police spotted his car Wednesday, but somebody else was driving. Witnesses said the car belonged to Russell, who left for South Carolina that morning. The U.S. Marshals Service says Russell took a bus south
That
and
nigga
was
left for
staying with
South
family when they
Carolina.
knocked on the door.
When he was arrested,
That nigga left for South Carolina that morning. Like, these motherfuckers are straight fucking so you just gonna move, you gonna leave this, you can just up and leave for South Carolina. Just up and leave for South Carolina. Like, I'm out. Nigga ain't got no business, no family, nothing. I just left. Like, I'm out of here. I punched the woman in the face in public. I couldn't control myself. Now I'm leaving.
he just simply said that, hey, can I tell my side of the story? Can I explain what happened? And we weren't interested in that. That's not our job.
Russell is now charged with aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, making terroristic threats, and other crimes. Risa De Silva King, the crossing guard's former employer, says the arrest brings a sense of relief.
And I definitely feel like some form of justice is being served.
According to the affidavit, the crossing guard saw Russell blowing a stop sign at 6th and Walnut Street and motioned for him to slow down. At that point, he began accelerating and braking in an aggressive manner, then got out of the car and yelled at her before punching her in the face, knocking her.
He had to get out of the car. Think about it. He's speeding through a school zone. He's running stop signs in the school zone. Right there, that's worse than what he did. I don't know, what do y'all think? I think him running stop signs in that school zone is worse than than punching that woman. You out here running stop signs in a school zone after school with the school buses and everything out here. You just blowing stop signs. This nigga, it's even worse than we thought. It's even worse than we thought. This nigga's an animal. And then then the woman tells him to slow down. He gets out of the car, runs her down and socks her in the face, runs back to the car. Oh shit, I'm in trouble. And then goes to South Carolina. This nigga's life, think about this nigga's life. I want you to think about the type of lives these niggas lead, right? To where you're running stop signs in a school zone. One, ding. We need like a ding, like something, a bell. You're running stop signs in the school zone. Bing. You're told to slow down by this crossing guard. You get out of your fucking car around a bunch of fucking kids in school buses and parents, run down the fucking old lady crossing guard, bing, get all up in her face, hit her with a wicked left hook, knock her out, run back to your car. Oh shit. Flee the scene. Oh shit. My face is everywhere in the fucking news. And then fucking go to South Carolina. These niggas ain't grounded in reality or in life. Nigga don't have no foundation, nothing solid for him to like wake up every morning to. And listen, when I was 27, I didn't either. Well, I had a job, so I had an apartment and a job. But I did crazy shit like that when I was 20. No, not 27. I kind of stopped doing crazy shit by then. But other than hustling, I mean, I pretty much was done. 27, I was pretty much done with the bullshit.
When they knocked the affidavit, the crossing guard saw Russell blowing a stop sign at 6th and Walnut Street and motioned for him to slow down. At that point, he began accelerating and braking in an aggressive
Well, she didn't even say anything. She motioned. Listen to the words. She didn't even say anything. She motioned for him to slow down. This nigga got out of his emotion. Like, slow down, man. This nigga got out of his car and punched the old lady in the face in front of a bunch of kids and parents.
Saw Russell blowing a stop sign at 6th and Walnut Street and motioned for him to slow down. At that point, he began accelerating and braking in an aggressive manner, then got out of the car and yelled at her before punching her in the face, knocking her unconscious. De Silva King says the attack was so traumatic, she resigned the same day.
I do hope that his apprehension, his persecution, his jail time will give her some sense of calm.
Right now, Russell is locked up at a jail in South Carolina. He's awaiting extradition to Pennsylvania to face charges. In Darby, Delaware County, Madeline Wright, CBS News, Philadelphia.
We just kept pushing. We found video, and perseverance pays off.
20 minutes of nonstop news continues with an arrest and the violent attack of a school crossing guard in Delaware County. The assault happened Monday afternoon outside an elementary school in Darby Borough while children looked on.
The suspect is now awaiting extradition to Pennsylvania. 29-year-old Rasheem Russell was arrested this morning in Darlington, South Carolina. Police say he hopped on a bus moments after the attack. NBC 10's Aaron
This
Baskerville is
nigga
joining us.
hopped on a bus moments after the attack. So he didn't drive down there. He left his car and hopped on a bus moments after the attack. These niggas live lives of like chaos and waywardness and just unstable. They just don't have anything like to center them and keep them. What, bitch? Like, first he started revving the engine and braking and throwing a hissy fit in the middle of a school zone during let out. That wasn't enough. So he had to get out and punch the old lady.
After the attack, NBC 10's Aaron Baskerville is joining us live in Darby with new reaction to this arrest. Aaron.
Shout out to my man, Bjorn, man. Shout out to Bjorn. Bjorn Borg, great tennis player. No, Big M, my bad, Big M. Shout out to Big M, man. Big M. Big M in the building. 7686. Shout out to Big M. Big M is in the building. Salute to you, man. First time seeing that name, man. That's good to see, man.
Lena, you mentioned it, but right now we are outside of that elementary school in Darby where this attack happened. That 29-year-old from West Philadelphia, he went on the attack here on Walnut Street. He started chasing after that crossing guard and ended up somewhere around here. That's when he punched her. Well, this morning at 11 o'clock, he was arrested in South Carolina.
We won today. We won.
Celebration after announcing the arrest of 29-year-old Rasheem Russell of West Philadelphia. Investigators say he's the man seen in surveillance video Monday attacking a crossing guard in Darby, Delaware County.
We may never know what was going through his mind that day. So, but his actions, it doesn't matter what was going through his mind, right? What he did was a horrible thing in our community.
We're told Russell hopped on a bus right after the attack and headed to a family member's home in Darlington, South Carolina. That's 500 miles away and an 8-hour drive. Russell was arrested this morning without incident, but investigators say he did start talking right away.
Mr. Russell, upon being arrested, tried to plead his story and wanted to talk about why this happened, but our deputies really didn't want to hear it.
According to the criminal affidavit, the guard motioned for Russell to slow down and stop while she was holding the stop sign. She says Russell then started aggressively braking and speeding up, jerking the car back and forth. As the video shows, officers say he would then park, chase down the guard, and go on the attack.
The culture that accepts this level of violence needs to teach your children that it will not be accepted. And not only will it not be accepted, you will be prosecuted for it.
Yeah, so obviously they are very happy that Russell is off the street. You're looking at this sign, protect our children at play. Of course, that's exactly what crossing guards do. I'm told there's a bill in the works to basically make crossing guards first responders. So they're working on that right now. As we heard earlier, Russell still remains out of state. As for that $5,000 reward, we're told somebody will get that money. For now, there is no attorney listed for Russell. For now, we're live in Darby, Aaron Baskerville, NBC 10 News.
Wow. Unbelievable, man.
Well, this all began when an innocent bystander was approached by two suspects who police say were offering to sell him a swipe into that subway station. But when the man said no, well, that's when things took a violent turn. It was during the afternoon rush when police say a man was approached by two suspects trying to sell the 28-year-old strap hanger an Omnicard into the Prospect Avenue subway station. When the man refused to engage, investigators say a fight broke out, and the victim was later stabbed in the shoulder with a knife and slashed with a razor blade on his nose, hand, and back. It's unclear if this man is the victim, but Citizen app video shows him speaking to police by turnstiles, showing officers a bike near the attacker's escape route. Detectives later finding what they believe to be the knife used in the attack, now a piece of evidence indicating the suspects may have ditched the weapon in their escape. The victim was treated at the scene by paramedics who say he's expected to make a recovery. But tonight, police are searching for what they believe to be two men wanted in this attack. If you think you have any information that can help, please make an arrest tonight. You're being urged to call the Crime Stoppers hotline. We're in Longwood. Mike Lamort, News 12, The Bronx.
Wow. You want to buy this fucking retro car, man? This fair car? Oh, man, I'm good, man. All right, man. What? You just nigga?
Neither rain nor snow or sleet will keep the postmen from their rounds. But what about a brazen daylight attack?
What's happening now has never happened to us.
That's exactly what happened to the 8-year-old Brooklyn letter carrier this past Monday.
He's loyal. He's been in the same station. He's a great individual. You know, now he's marked for life.
Police say he was attacked in the vicinity of Bedford Avenue after a man got aggravated that he didn't give him his package.
A lot of people come and say, oh, you got a package for me, you know, and what we do is say, well, if you give us ID, we'll give it to you. But they don't want to hear that.
From there, it escalated, and the 25-year-long mailman veteran was sliced in the face by an unknown object.
He has 29 stitches on his face.
According to the Brooklyn Letter Carriers Branch 41 president, since 2019, attacks on letter carriers have skyrocketed.
It's over an 800% rating of robberies and assaults towards letter carriers.
At this time, there's very little that protects mailmen from these kind of attacks.
We used to have postal police that used to patrol. They say they can't patrol the streets. They could only protect postal property.
Last year, a bill was introduced into Congress that would mandate that the assault or robbery of a postal employee would be treated the same as the assault of a law enforcement officer. That bill is still currently in committee.
Should be. Niggas gotta control themselves, man. I used to listen, I almost heard a postal worker years ago, and I wouldn't even say almost heard him, but I wanted to. I was getting weed in the mail from my connect. It was, back in the day, they would take the weed, put it in bags, in plastic bags, vacuum it, seal it, put it inside of cans. They had a canning machine to close the cans, and they would ship it out. That's how a lot of weed got around the country, in cans that were mailed. The cans were really big, like they were like big cans, like you would see for like, I guess, industrial size, like, food, maybe say type of cans would be big enough for like restaurants or some shit like that, or schools or something. And, that's how a lot of weed got moved. And I was waiting for a package. I sent my money out there, Western Union did. And I was waiting for my package, and my package never come. And my boy started, and the mailman from in our neighborhood at that time was a young black guy. He was young. He was like our age, in his 20s. He had dreadlocks and shit. And we started getting in our mind, because I had dudes with me that would just hang around me, because I had a lot of weed. So when you got a lot of weed, you got a lot of hanger-ons, right? They would start talking like, man, I bet that dude took the package. I know he, they started getting in my head. I started thinking that guy, just took my package. Like, cause he just take it. He got it in his truck. He'll just take it and not bring it to me. And we were ready to roll on that dude, man. Ended up not doing it, man. So I've been there, man. Where you want to hurt a postal worker, but over a package, but you niggas need laws, man. You niggas need laws, man. You niggas need laws.
Police say this all played out within a few hours last Monday. It started in Manhattan, then moved right here to Williamsburg at this Catbird jewelry store on North 7th Street. And then this location here, Goriana on North 6th Street. The investigators, they've released surveillance video showing the three women at work. Check this out. This video shows the three women walking in like regular shoppers, looking around at display cases. Here's how police say it plays out. Two of them distract the employee asking questions, and while that's happening, the third grabs the jewelry. About $31,000 in jewelry was taken from there. Then hours later, they show up right here in Williamsburg, hitting another store on North 7th Street just after 6 p.m. Not long after that, they strike again right here at Goriana. In total, more than $41,000 in jewelry gone. We spoke with people in the area who say this isn't something they normally see around here.
This one seems like a little different to me, I feel like, than what's normally happening. Definitely a different sneaky approach than what I've seen normally, but this is a pretty high-end area, so it doesn't surprise me that there are occasional robberies.
And no one was hurt, but if you recognize any of these women, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. In Williamsburg, at Jack Robinson, News 12 Brooklyn.
Right.
A Kensington mom says a random act of vandalism has left her family traumatized. A group of what appears to be teens were caught on camera throwing a tree branch through her window, sending glass flying and injuring one of her kids. News 12's Kelly Kennedy has that exclusive video.
Caught on camera.
See what I'm saying? Like, these little fucking Puerto Ricans and shit. That's the type of shit, man. The ass whooping would do them better than even ass whooping would be the proper way to deal with that. An ass whooping. Leather across their backs. A lot of these little motherfuckers would go on to be productive citizens, man. If you would just tie them to a post and beat the fuck out of them with a whip. I know I would have. Oh my God, I would have straightened up. I would have straightened up just knowing that was the law. If you would have just told me, okay, motherfuckers, yeah, we gonna tie you to a post and get a big ass nigga like an ex-football player or some Division I football player or some shit like that. Train them to use the whip. Train them on how to, get the most force and torque out of the whip, and then send them out into the, to be the, the dispenser of punishment. Man, I'd have been a fucking model citizen, okay? I'd have been like, yes, how may I help? If you'd have met me, I'd have been like, yes, sir. How are you doing today? Everything great? Oh, well, yes. Like everybody that I victimized or whatever would have had a different me. They would have got a different me. They would have got a different version of me, man. You know what I'm saying? They got a whole different version of me. Shit. Tie these niggas to post and fucking try to fucking break the whip on their back. Try to break that motherfucker. Try to make the whip break on their back. And let everybody fucking hear their screams. You won't have to listen. Cry. Listen, I'm telling you, man, fuck.
Group of kids hanging on Argyle Street in Kensington when one of them suddenly picks up a tree branch and then chucks it through a first-floor apartment window.
I got scared. I wasn't sure. I guess my mind went everywhere. I wasn't sure if it was gunshots. I wasn't sure if it was a brick. I wasn't sure if it was a rock.
Helen Lopez was just eating dinner with her family when that branch came whizzing through her window, sending shards of glass flying through the air.
The last thing we were expecting was to have what is like a huge explosion sound, I guess you could say.
The Kensington mom says her 6-year-old son was hit by that flying glass.
He was bleeding from what is his cheekbone. He was bleeding from his hands, from his feet. Thankfully, no stitches were needed.
And you can still see the damage inside the apartment. As you can see here, the window is boarded up and there's still glass and some drywall on the windowsill. Lopez tells me the crime cost more than $1,000 in damage to both her window and her air conditioner.
It's no longer able to use it because imagine turning that on, all the glass being shattered everywhere.
In the surveillance video, the same teen initially picks up what looks like a brick, but then switches to a branch.
Just a little stick caused so much damage. Imagine the brick.
Police tell me they're investigating, but no arrests have been made.
Putting people's lives in danger, it's not fun. If anybody recognizes these kids, not only they can help me, but help the detectives catch these kids.
If you recognize anyone in this video, call the NYPD. In Kensington, Kelly Kennedy, News 12, Brooklyn.
Wow. You niggas, boy, I swear, man. I tell you, man. Let me tell you, man.
IMPD asking for your help tracking down 2 wanted men. They've had arrest warrants for nearly a year following a deadly shooting at a restaurant on the west side. As CBS 4's Jesse Wells explains, newly unsealed court records are providing new information about what led to that violence.
According to this affidavit, which was filed last April but remained under seal until just recently, 3 men are now charged with taking part in the shooting here at this Waffle House behind me. One suspect has already been arrested, but police have been unable to find 2 additional suspects who live in Gary, including the man prosecutors believe fired the fatal shots. Nearly 50 gunshots were fired during a gun battle inside this Waffle House on South Lyndhurst in February 2024. That shootout left 5 people wounded and killed an innocent woman who was simply trying to run for cover. 30-year-old Salim El-Amin is charged with attempted murder, along with 29-year-old Kyrie Sims and 33-year-old Daryl Turner, who were also charged with murder and battery. Turner has been in jail since last June, but both El-Amin and Sims have been on the run from the law for almost a full year.
We need your help. We need the community's help. So we're asking you to do the right thing. Step up, step forward, do the right thing. Think about this victim whose life was lost. Think about the victims who were shot in this incident. We want to bring justice for these people.
The violence claimed the life of 35-year-old Crystal Kinnenbrew, a bar owner from Gary, who was killed.
They always kill somebody ain't got nothing to do with it. Them niggas are monkeys, man. Shout out to Douglas Chunks, man. Douglas Chunks is in the building. He said, current Afro Man story is definitely some of the best entertainment going right now. I've become a bit of a fan after watching clips from his trial and related music video. Yeah, I didn't cover that. I don't really know what's going on with Afro Man. I see it a lot. I don't know what's going on. I think like they raided his house and he wrote a song about it, and then the cop was like, yo, the song caused me harm, and they sued him. And then but it was frivolous, right? Some frivolous shit. Yeah. I never clicked on any of those videos on this channel, man. It's kind of late, man. The thing is kind of over with. It's kind of over with. I should have followed it from the beginning, man. It's kind of over with. But yeah, Afro Man, Cause I Got High. That was a very good song. I enjoyed that song back in the day. That I was going to do. And then I got high. I was going and then I got high. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, salute to him. I'm glad he got off, because those little fuckers get to rap about killing people. And really killing people. Like, they get to rap about really killing people, and you can't use their lyrics against them in court. Press 1. They like, the person is literally dead the way they said that shit happened. They did it. You can't use the fucking lyrics in court. Shit is insane.
Visiting Indy for the end.
Think about this victim whose life was lost. Think about the victims who were shot in this incident. We want to bring justice for these people.
The violence claimed the life of 35-year-old Crystal Kinnenbrew, a bar owner from Gary, who was killed visiting Indy for the NBA All-Star Game. According to this affidavit, Sims is accused of sparking the deadly shootout by punching one of Kinnenbrew's friends in the face. Police spoke to more than a dozen witnesses and watched surveillance video, which allegedly showed Kinnenbrew trying to get away, and Kyrie Sims appears to shoot her. Both Sims and El-Amin were wounded by the gunfire.
Look at these motherfuckers. They tough as shit. They mean, they tough, they bad, and they go to fucking jail. I guarantee you, I'm going to tell you this. I want to know what y'all think about this. If there was a worthwhile cause, right? Something worthy of crashing out for for these niggas. I'm not talking about the military or anything like that. Just a worthy, like something, not somebody called you because they got in the beef, but something worthy. Like whatever that may be. A cause worth crashing out for. You know what I mean? Do you think these niggas in all these cities that we cover would volunteer to crash out for a worthy cause? Because for some reason, for some reason, I don't think these niggas would crash out for a worthy cause. I don't think they would crash out like to end slavery. Like if they was bringing slavery back, if slavery was about to come back, niggas wouldn't crash out like this. Niggas would protest. Niggas would march and protest and whine and shit. Niggas wouldn't crash like these niggas did in that fucking way, just start shooting up the place. Niggas would protest or some stupid shit like that.
For these people.
The violence claimed the life of 35-year-old Crystal Kinnenbrew, a bar owner from Gary, who was killed visiting Indy for the NBA All-Star Game. According to this affidavit, Sims is accused of sparking the deadly shootout by punching one of Kinnenbrew's friends in the face. Police spoke to more than a dozen witnesses and watched surveillance video, which allegedly showed Kinnenbrew trying to get away, and Kyrie Sims appears to shoot her. Both Sims and Elamine were wounded by the gunfire. IMPD believes the pair survived and have been hiding out in the Gary or Chicago area. Although it's been over 2 years since the shooting, police now admit they need help bringing both fugitives to justice.
We cannot do it alone. The IMPD cannot do it alone. It's going to take community members coming forward, family members coming forward, and helping us locate these two individuals.
Finally, Turner is being held without bond at the Marion County Jail, awaiting trial in May. Anyone with information on the location of the two additional suspects can contact either IMPD's homicide office or Crime Stoppers. Jesse Wells, CBS 4 News.
Investigators. Other news tonight at 5. An accused thief is behind bars after being arrested for a series of armed robberies on the east side.
CBS 4's Jesse Wells talked to police and some of the victims.
The crime spree came to an end thanks to some proactive police work by an IMPD officer who put businesses here on 16th Street under surveillance and eventually spotted the suspect walking on this sidewalk. Police then followed the accused thief back to this home where they took him into custody, and he allegedly confessed to nearly all the crimes. Starting at this Total Wireless in late February, followed by this Safeway, this Family Dollar, this Subway, and this Jack's Pizza, police believe all 5 stores were robbed by 30-year-old Larry Thurkill over the span of less than 3 weeks.
He said that, give me money, give me all money.
That victim encountered the suspect at this Subway register. Surveillance video showed the thief order a sub before pulling out a gun. Not wanting to be shot, the employee emptied the register.
Only one bullet. He died. That's it. Very bad.
After stealing the cash, the suspect put the gun away and left without anyone getting hurt. 6 days later, surveillance cameras showed the same man jump the counter at Jack's Pizza wearing a distinctive hoodie and backpack. The armed thief threatened to shoot employees before stealing a tip jar full of cash. Court records show after being tracked down and arrested, Thurkill admitted to 4 of the 5 crimes.
This is amazing work on behalf of our violent crimes unit detectives.
During a search of the suspect's home here on DeQuincy, police claim they found a gun, backpack, and clothing used in the series of crimes. IMPD insists getting repeat violent offenders off the streets remains a priority.
Absolutely. The police will find you if you're going to take this type of action. If you're going to rob businesses, rob people within our communities, take any type of criminal action, we will find you and hold you accountable.
The suspect's arrest definitely helps his alleged victims feel safer.
I'm glad he caught it. The police caught him, and I'm very happy to he caught, because everybody's scared in this area.
Court records show the suspect did have an active arrest warrant since last July for a probation violation stemming from a previous robbery conviction. He's now being held without bond at the Marion County Jail for both the new case and the old one. Jesse Wells, CBS 4 News.
Jesus Christ.
A major drug investigation leads to the arrest of nearly 36 people. Thanks for joining us for the news at 10 o'clock. I'm Chris Fry. Our Michelle Nix has more on the arrest and the large amount of drugs taken off the street.
An intense months-long investigation called Operation Smoke and Mirrors led to the arrest of 33 people and 40 criminal indictments here in Northeast Ohio, a crime all related to the distribution of dangerous and often deadly drugs.
Take a look at what the Cleveland Police 2nd District Vice Unit has taken off the streets in partnership with the Cartel, Gang, Narcotics, and Laundering Task Force. A cache of high-powered weapons and handguns, along with a large amount of the most addictive narcotics, as well as the cell phones and scales used to facilitate the crimes. And don't forget the cash, the fruit of the drug organization's ill-gotten gains. Drew DeSerto is the executive director of the HIDA initiative that's focused on eradicating the drug problem.
There's a smaller level of drug dealers, but a large quantity.
Yeah, look who's bringing the drugs in. Niggas. Look who's bringing the drugs into the neighborhood. It's not the CIA, the FBI, it's these niggas. These the ones bringing the drugs into the neighborhood.
Tuesday, a total of 33 suspects, both men and women, were arrested on felony drug crimes. A total of 40 individuals are facing criminal indictments for an alleged drug trafficking operation within Cleveland's Clark Fulton neighborhood. Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb commended the Cleveland Police, along with federal, state, and local law enforcement partners, committed to keeping our kids and neighborhoods safe. Mayor Bibb says, quote, Operation Smoke and Mirrors underscores the power of collaboration and intelligence-driven policing in dismantling dangerous criminal networks across our region. Their exceptional work in bringing these individuals to justice and protecting our residents from violent offenders who threaten the stability of our communities. The operation resulted in the seizure of approximately 252 grams of cocaine, 250 grams of fentanyl, 250 grams of methamphetamine, and 50 grams of MDMA, widely known as ecstasy. The suspects now behind bars are from Cleveland, Bedford Heights, Euclid, Maple Heights, and Dayton. Reporting in Cleveland, Michelle Nix, 19 News.
Beginning Friday, Ohio is enacting stricter regulations regarding dangerous dogs.
Avery's Law.
Thank God. Niggas and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans are fucking terrible with taking care of their dogs and making sure their dogs are fucking chained up or leashed up, or they're awful at that. Awful. And like I said, niggas need laws. Niggas don't do shit on their own, right? Niggas don't do the right thing on their own. So they need laws. They need to be over-policed. Remember that word over-police? Who remember that from like 10 years ago? They over-policing us. We over policed. Nah, nigga, you niggas are under policed. You need more laws. More laws.
Was inspired by a local girl attacked by two dogs in 2024. NBC4's Gracie Collins spoke with her mother about the push for this law and has what changes to expect come Friday. Gracie?
Yeah, Jen and Jared, there are a lot of changes coming, both in how dangerous dogs are handled and the punishments that the owners receive.
The whole purpose is public safety.
Attention dog owners, new rules are going into effect for dogs deemed dangerous, including allowing dog wardens to seize dogs right after any serious attack.
Whether it's a vicious bite or a second dangerous bite that's been reported to us, or even if the situation is unsafe.
Devin Mann and Lindsay Allen with Franklin County Animal Care and Control say they anticipate more dogs will be at the shelter, so they've already brought in extra cages. Avery's law also requires euthanasia if a dog kills or seriously injures another person. And something a local mother, Drew Russell, has been pushing for: increasing penalties for negligent dog owners.
It's a life-changing thing, and to have a slap on the wrist and you not feel any of that effect, that's unacceptable to me.
Her daughter, Avery Russell, was attacked in Reynoldsburg, sustaining serious injuries. The owner of the dogs was fined $450 and sentenced to 4 days in jail. But it's something Russell says Avery has to live with every day.
Yep. It's been rough, I'm not gonna lie. PTSD, the anxiety, it's been rough.
Since the attack, the Russell family has been advocating for these regulations, including testimony from Avery.
The fact that she is able to do that with a smile on her face and so confident and just so strong, and just wanted to use her story to make a change, I just think is just so beautiful.
They all tell me a major goal behind this law is to inspire more responsible dog ownership.
Yep.
Just taking...
You niggas need to start acting fucking like you got a fucking wild fucking half a lion and shit. Like niggas need laws. They can't do the right thing. Nigga can't do the right thing just automatically. I was the same way. Oh shit, they go the cops. Tighten up. Or like, oh shit, man. Motherfucker, you know, like they had to make a law to make people to put their seatbelt on. They had to make a law to make people put their seatbelt on. I remember that. Getting pulled over for not having a seatbelt on.
Those extra measures as a dog owner, to know what your dog's triggers are, to know if your dog isn't socialized well enough, just to be aware of those and to be responsible for those.
The law also impacts how owners are able to keep their dogs that are deemed dangerous, like keeping them confined if people are over. Local for you in Columbus, I'm Gracie Collins, NBC4.
Gracie, thank you. Thanks for watching. For more NBC4, download the NBC4 streaming app. You'll get free 24/7 local programming streamed straight to your living room. Just search NBC4 Columbus on your Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku, or Samsung device.
I'm telling you, man. Everybody hit that like button, man. Smash that like.
The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Indiana is highlighting a handful of cases that have sent dangerous felons with firearms away on federal prison sentences. Thanks for joining us in this half hour. I'm Rafael Sanchez.
And I'm Aaliyah Blackburn. As Fox 59's Russ McQuaid shows us, many of those cases result from the hard work by IMPD detectives.
Here at the federal courthouse, local bad guys with guns they often shouldn't have usually face tougher penalties than if their cases had been prosecuted through the Marion County courts. These are the faces of just a few of the local criminals who ran afoul of the law and are now doing federal time.
If we can get these kind of people off the streets for a significant period of time, crime goes down, and I think the numbers show that.
It does in the case of Zachary Daniels, convicted of being a felon in unlawful possession of a firearm as the result of previous arrests and convictions. He's now doing 9 years in federal prison.
You're going to serve most of your sentence on the federal side.
Tell it to James Montgomery Jr., doing 2.5 years after his arrest for illegal possession of a machine gun.
The machine gun conversion kits are off the charts.
But the most serious repeat violent offender taken off the streets and doing nearly 12 years of federal time is Cornelius Cooper III, just 24 years old with a dangerous history of pulling guns on people and robbing them.
On that case, an IMPD officer arrived at a gas station, and he observed Cooper wearing an orange jacket and pointing a firearm at a silver vehicle. Cooper went into the gas station. The passenger stated that Cooper had just tried to rob him. Cooper was arrested at the gas station store. He had a stolen Glock 9mm handgun with an extended magazine.
When Cooper was arrested, he had been out of prison for just 3 months and was just 21 years old.
The recidivism rate's not insignificant, particularly in Marion County. And getting these people off the street and taking them federal, we get them out.
U.S. Attorney Wheeler told me he just hired away a local prosecutor to join his staff, and he's always looking for more candidates to fill out the federal prosecutor ranks. At the U.S. Courthouse in downtown Indianapolis, Russ McQuaid, Fox 59 News.
Man.
More than 90 bullets flying across a D.C. neighborhood during a shootout. A close call for families who had to duck for cover on Saturday. And tonight, police are looking for these 6 people. We're glad you're with us. I'm Scott Thuman. While no one was hit, the gunfire did cause a lot of damage. Our Washington, D.C. report.
No one was hit. No one was hit. And I don't give a fuck. Give all them niggas 25 years in prison. Fuck it. I don't care that no one was hit. I don't care. You niggas is firing not like, yo, it's like they bullying the law. They're bullying. The law represents the people, right? Right? The law represents the people. We elect the representatives to represent us in Congress and in the Senate. They make the laws. The laws. These niggas don't care. They're just disrespecting us, man. You just gotta, you motherfuckers get 25 years for everybody. Man, why you saying that, man? That's gonna help. Damn, they give them out 25 years? Shit. You think you can get me in at the post office? You think you can give me an application at Lowe's? If I fill out my application for Kroger's, can you talk to the managers and see if he can review my application? Shit. Niggas gonna get their shit together. Niggas gonna get their act together. I stop playing with these niggas, man. At some point, too. Because if the Democrats get back in office, man, they're gonna roll back all that shit. So you gotta put that shit in the law now while the Republicans got Democrats gonna roll back all that shit.
Reporter Felicia Ashley is in Southeast, where residents are still shaken up.
Police are calling what happened in this alley disturbing. The shooters fired more than 90 shots. Take a look at this. Multiple cars completely shot up. The shooters also shot and hit homes, a school, and a child's bed. I found Molly Stevenson as she was taking a picture of the police car and shot spotter now parked on the 1500 block of A Street.
Is it true that it went into somebody's window?
Homes, windows,
Like
it
a
hit one of the
nursery?
nearby schools, yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's terrifying.
Take a look at this. Saturday, police say multiple suspects went to a nearby alley and fired more than 90 shots at each other in a massive shootout. Now, take a look at these photos. Today, the police are looking for these 4 men and 2 women, believed to be in their late teens to early 20s.
I actually had an opportunity to visit the home in which the bullet went through the window, as well as the upper window of the young lady's bedrooms. It was by the grace of God that no one was injured.
Councilman Wendell Felder represents the neighborhood. I met him steps away from where the shooting happened.
My office has been in contact with the Deputy Mayor's Office for Public Safety and Justice, and we asked for a community walk.
What will a community walk do to fix or change shootings and crime?
Oftentimes, government feels that
a community walk. Are you fucking kidding me? A community whipping post. A community whipping post. Fuck a community walk. The fuck? You serious, nigga? Like, you gotta be joking, my nigga. A community walk? You can't be fucking serious, my nigga. I'm just gonna act like that. I didn't hear that. I'm gonna act like I didn't just hear that nigga say that we're gonna do a community walk.
So it has all the answers. We want to hear directly from residents who will be impacted. So my approach is to bring government to the community, and from there develop a plan that takes the feedback of neighbors, and then the government implements it.
Neighbors and Councilman Felder told me that there is an apartment near this alley that they say have been bringing issues and crime to this neighborhood. I asked Felder what he plans to do with that information. He says that they are looking into all possible options. Now, Felder did say the community walk is tomorrow at 4. He plans to bring MPD as well as public safety leaders to that walk. For now, reporting from Southeast DC, Felicia Ashley, 7 News.
Unbelievable. Man, who knows what tomorrow brings, but we're gonna a couple more minutes. Wow.
In Akron, police are looking for leads after a security guard was shot near a downtown bar.
Tonight, that woman is recovering. Detectives are still trying to figure out the person who's responsible for the crime that happened early this morning, that shooting. Bob Jones covers Summit County for us, and he got his hands on body camera video, which shows what police saw when they arrived.
An officer's body camera is rolling as he hurries to the area of Paul Williams and Exchange Streets in downtown Akron to help a security guard who was shot once in the left leg.
Where you shot?
Shot me in my leg.
Who shot you?
The girl.
I'm gonna get a tourniquet.
Police were first alerted to the shooting from a 911 caller.
Somebody shot the girl in the leg. It was just one shot. We heard it and we all ran out here. But one of the security guards was trying to get them out, so they was trying to come in.
Lieutenant Michael Murphy says a 35-year-old woman working security at Status 8 was confronted by two women and a man who had been kicked out of the bar. But when they tried to get back inside, the security guard used pepper spray.
So when they tried to force themselves back in the bar, got kicked out, tried to force themselves back in. So this isn't necessarily getting kicked out and coming back and shooting up. This is a little bit more, things happened, a chain of events. This wasn't just like, yo, don't ever kick a nigga out of the bar because they're going to come back and get you. They're going to come back and shoot you. This is more like, yo, don't ever not let a nigga force their way back into a bar after you kick them out. Just let them force their way back into the bar and you'll be safe. You're gonna lose your job, but fuck the job. Trying to get killed.
And then a shot was fired from a silver sedan, striking the victim.
There were at least a couple of individuals that made it into the car, and there were some individuals outside of the car before the pepper spray was deployed, and then that's when the shot was fired.
The security guard was taken to Cleveland Clinic, Akron General. Police say her injuries are not life-threatening. The suspects took off in a car.
Nobody cares anymore. They're not thinking about the consequences. I don't think they took 2 seconds to think about anyone else being hit by a bullet.
James Guydosh lives nearby in downtown Akron and says the shooting is both scary and senseless.
Pause and take a second. And you really got to play everything out in your head of, is this the moment where you have to go to jail for a few years or possibly life?
Akron police are reviewing surveillance cameras in the area, combing through the footage, hoping to find video of witnesses, suspects, and that getaway vehicle.
Anytime a gunshot is fired at someone and they're struck, you're always inches away from this being a fatality.
I reached out to the owner of Status 8, who's not commenting on the incident at this time. Murphy says his thoughts are with that security guard.
It's extremely unfortunate to see something like this happen to her, just doing her job. And, we're just hoping that she's able to recover quickly from her injuries.
In Akron, Bob Jones, News 5.
Man, shoot to everybody out there, man. Everybody hit that like button, man. Smash that like button for a player.
Tonight, new details emerge in a multi-city investigation into a violent juvenile crime spree resulting in several arrests. Florissant police spearheaded a regional effort to take down a group they say targeted the most vulnerable members of our community. It's 5 on your side's Brent Solomon reports the investigation spans across several counties.
It's the culmination of a months-long investigation that all started in Florissant. Officers there calling on their counterparts in St. Louis County, and St. Charles County to serve multiple search warrants on a group of teenagers linked to a violent wave of thefts and robberies.
Stealing cars, breaking into cars, robberies. Crime has no boundaries when it comes to this group. They were going everywhere.
Police say this wasn't just about property. In some cases, the 16 and 17-year-olds pointed guns and even fired shots, sometimes even targeting victims at gas stations.
They were looking for victims, vulnerable victims. In some cases, it was elderly women. They would take their purses. They would take items out of their vehicles. And I want to get across that these were violent individuals. They didn't care what they took. If they wanted it, they wanted to steal it.
The arrests come as the region remains on edge. In St. Louis, a 10 p.m. curfew is now in effect for minors after a chaotic street takeover last weekend. Police are looking for some of these young people to question them. In Belleville, police are blocking unpermitted weekend gatherings at local parks after an officer was struck during a recent disturbance involving teens.
It's a lot that's impacting families. They're losing loved ones. Children are becoming fatherless and motherless.
As for the Florissant sting, officers say they've recovered multiple stolen guns and cars. Police credit a strong partnership with the county prosecutor's office, and they hope to ensure some of the repeat young offenders remain in custody.
Your actions have consequences. And you know, we don't tolerate that in the city of Florissant. Being a parent is staying involved, checking in on your kids, being part of their lives.
Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Police say they will be reaching out to victims if their property was recovered in these raids. And while the investigation is ongoing, they remind parents you can be held legally responsible for your children's actions under improper supervision.
Yeah, but you gotta start enforcing that shit, man. You start enforcing that shit, man. I want to start seeing more parents going to jail, man. I want to see more parents go to prison, man. God damn it.
If you're planning on going to the first Friday that's scheduled for April, it will look a lot different this month. Roosevelt will not be shut down for concert goers and people that are there visiting the fair, and there will be no street vendors. Organizers say it's because of major events going on in downtown aside from First Friday, including the NCAA Women's Final Four. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly heard from businesses about the change.
It's getting a little crazy on First Friday now.
Shops along Roosevelt Row have seen what happens around First Friday.
We noticed that right around like 9:30, 10 is when the crowds really start coming through, and that's when a lot of the chaos happens.
Shortly after March's First Friday ended, Phoenix police at 11:30 at night say a fight broke out on Roosevelt and 8th Street.
Yo. Niggas, man. Niggas ruin everything. I didn't even know there was a First Friday for niggas to ruin. This is my first time hearing about First Friday. And niggas ruined it. Ain't that a bitch?
Officers having to use pepper balls when the crowd became disruptive. Then moments later in that same area, police say a teenage boy and an adult woman were hurt in a shooting. This video taken inside a nearby bar shows customers hiding underneath tables right after those gunshots rang out.
I was up and working when I heard the gunshots go off.
Asar Roland and Francis Fluellen with Straw and Wool Hat Shop say it seems these types of incidents are becoming more common.
This started as a family event. I don't always feel safe during the First Friday experience, especially since I live down here.
Then in January, just after 10 p.m., another shooting near Garfield and 7th Street, where a teen was seriously injured. A month earlier in December, after First Friday, police again had to use pepper balls to break up multiple large fights.
It's been very unfortunate, really, the teen and the youth that is partaking in this.
Clarissa West at Stardust and Sage says all of this is starting to hurt local shops on a day that is supposed to be booming for business.
I really would like to see something where we could control the crowd so families or people who don't want to be in the rowdiness could feel more safe.
Don't invite niggas. Nigga proof it. No blacks allowed. No blacks allowed. Or you can just like no rap music, charge a cover charge. You gotta de-nigga shit. De-nigga it. De-nigga it. De-nigga it and they will not come. What the heck is First Friday? First Friday is something that niggas just ruined.
For coming out here, because it definitely is impeding on business.
Shops hoping steps can be taken to where people don't have to worry about what may happen here.
So really, you need to have a chaperone process. You need to make it more family friendly, and then make sure that curfew is enforced. So you can't be out as 30 young kids by themselves.
Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Man, this is depressing. These niggas be ruining so much shit, man. Hit the like button on the way out, man. I'm out of here, man. Same black time, same black channel. See you guys tomorrow, man. Peace out, man. Salute to everybody sponsored the show, man. I'm out of here. Peace.